Now that the cylinder head is on our bench, we can go ahead and replace the cams. The way that you replace the cams is first we're going to remove the retaining plate. And then remove the exhaust rocker arms. Be sure that you pay attention to where your washers are. And finally, your intake rocker arm. Again, remembering your washers. When our slider cams out, and you can, if you're just replacing the cams and you're not putting a real big cam in it, you could just take the exhaust side rocker arms off and then the cam will come out. Now we have a Mr. RPM Generation 1 cam. We're going to put this cam in. And very important on his cams is actually to spin it and make sure that you have enough clearance for everything. Alright, we're hitting a little bit, you can see we're hitting a little bit on this little lip besides the valves. So what we're going to do is we're going to take everything apart, take our cam out, we're going to take our Dremel, and we're going to grind this down a little bit so our cam is clear. So after we took our Dremel, all we had to do was clearance this little bit right there. That's all it took to clear the cams. Only thing left to do now is assemble the head back together. First thing we want to do, just regular oil. Go ahead and get the cam real good and oily. Now you see now we're able to turn freely. It does not bind or anything. Now we can install our intake side rocker arm. Remembering our washers. And our exhaust side rocker arms. We can now reinstall our keeper plate. Once everything is torqued down, all we have to do is set our valves for 16 thousandths. Alright guys, here is one really easy way to set the valves on your motors. It does not matter if you have the heads off your motor or if you have them bolted onto the motor. As long as you are sitting at top dead center, if it's bolted onto the motor be sure that you are at top dead center. And you would know how to do this. You know, if you're at top dead center, if it's bolted on, let's say this is your front cylinder in the spot in the hole where your crank position sensor is at, you should have a number 1 in the center of your hole. Also, on your cam timing gear, be sure that your marks, your reference marks, is even with the top of your head, with the lip of your head. Once you have that done, then you can adjust your valves. Notice how they're both loose. There's no pressure on them because all the lobes is sitting down in the head, and we're on the flat part of the cam. We're basically riding on the flats, not the lobes. The cams that we have, we purchased from Mr. RPM Cycle, and the specs for these cams call for the valves to be set at 16 thousandths. That's a little bit more than stock cams and a lot of other cams, but these cams were actually designed for that measurements, and so that's what we were recommended to set these at. Stock cams are going to be a whole lot lower than that. Look at your manual, consult your manual, and it will tell you exactly what you need to set them at. The method that we're going to be using today, the method that I'm going to be talking about, is the go, no-go method. We have our filler gauges. We have 16 thousandths and we have 17 thousandths. These need to be set for 16 thousandths, so what we're going to do is we're going to have it to where we can slide our 16 thousandths in and out, but the 17 thousandths will not be able to go in. That's the go, no-go method. I'm sure there's many other ways to do this, but this is the way that I do it, and I've never had any problems out of it. And so, first what we'll do is we'll put our 16 thousandths in, and all this is just a reference. We want to tighten down on our rocker arm and get it snug. And then we're going to take our 10mm wrench, making sure that we're still snug. You want just a little bit of resistance on here. Alright, and then we're just going to tighten our retaining nut down. And so now we have our 16 thousandths will move in and out, but our 17 thousandths, we'll see if our 17 thousandths go in. Our 17 thousandths will go in, and so we need it tighter. So we'll put our 16 thousandths back in. We'll loosen our nut. We'll see where we're at with our screwdriver. We'll turn it a little bit and we'll tighten back down on our nut. We'll pull, that's way too tight on our 16 thousandths. We'll loosen her up again. And these are very small changes that we're doing. Alright, our 16 thousandths. Let's check our 17 thousandths. Our 17 thousandths will not go. And so 16 thousandths to go, our 17 thousandths will not go. The go, no-go method.